To get started, a real easy one. 30 seconds to a minute. I'm not really timing it. List off 1 or 2 word descriptions of Patrick for me.
Patrick has always been challenging. He's he very free, like spirited. He knew what he wanted. I'm not answering this correctly.
No, you're fine.
To describe Patchy, he was like my little. When he was little, he was like we would get bad together. I don't know, like he loved to be mischievous.
Mm-hmm.
So and anybody that knows him would say that he had a mischievous side to him.
Yeah.
So we would drop off like his brother and sister at game like for their practices, and I'd say let's go get bad together, and we go get ice cream. So mischievous would be the one. Love to laugh, love to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. What's something Patrick always hated? Maybe a school subject or an activity, or what's something that you remember fighting him on or him fighting against?
I would say that I don't remember really fighting with him about anything. He didn't really care for school.
Okay.
He always kind of was a little bit behind the other kids. He didn't retain things. So school wasn't his, academics were not his thing. He loved his sports and he loved the socialization of it.
Okay. Sort of extending on that, what are some of the things Patrick found happiness in? Patrick
always found happiness in his friends.
Okay.
Hanging out, having a good time, little pranks. That's where he found his happiness. He liked playing, basketball with his brother or, soccer. I have pictures of them, in the backyard, in the pool, roughhousing. He was always there for a good time. I have pictures of him at Michael's birthday, but there's Patrick right in the center of it all, like being the star. Yeah. Just like here I am. You would have thought it was his birthday. So that's what I remember about that. Just that brilliant smile that he had.
What's one thing you wish everyone knew about Patrick?
That behind that smile there was a lot of pain that we didn't realize, and we realized it at some points, and then it would just kind of go away. But he was in a lot of pain, and he expressed it a few times, and he got some help, but there was just sadness behind that smile.
Okay. What's one time you felt like you and Patrick really understood each other?
He's always been my buddy. Yeah. We always connected. I don't know what it was, if because he was my last child or what, but I remember the last time that we spent together. We had dinner. His brother and girlfriend came over, and we lit a fire, and I just remember just being so happy and content that my boys were together, and we were having a nice family dinner.
So you felt like you always saw eye to eye?
I feel like we did. We rarely, argued. It wasn't something that we were never a family that argued, or if we disagreed, we disagreed. But then we just kind of moved on. There wasn't anything ever like that, big arguments.
Why are you here today? Why are we having this conversation?
Well, because I don't want another mom to have to go through this. And I really believe there's a problem with our youth, especially our young males, in with depression and suicide. There's just too much loss, and no mom should ever have to go through that. Losing your son like that, knowing that he was in such pain, especially when I just want to help somebody. I just don't want another mom to have to say goodbye to their son, who was such a bright, shining light in my life. I mean, there's going to be grandbabies I'm not going to have, weddings, so many things we're going to miss, holidays, and there's a part of me that's gone. So I just want to be able to help some young person, mom, someone, to have the conversation.
From the outside, would you say Patrick fit the description or stereotype of someone experiencing suicidal ideation?
No. Anyone who knew my son knew and smiled when they talked about Patrick. Patrick was the best friend. He was a great cousin, son. He was always there for people, but he came on the outside just appearing always so very, very happy. For the most part, right before he passed, he was dealing with some depression and seeing a doctor. But I don't feel that they gave him the help he needed. But I didn't foresee him doing that. Mm-hmm. I never in a million years. There was no way. Mm-hmm. I would have said that my son would have died of suicide.
Okay. What are some misconceptions you think people have about suicide?
I believe that people, think that they would know. Oh, I would know. I would know. My son would be depressed. My daughter would be depressed. They wouldn't be going out all the time. People that are going to, die of suicide, they don't make future plans. They don't talk about the future. No, those are all wrong. Mm-hmm. You don't know. There are no signs.
What about misconceptions about, what the family goes through, what family or loved ones need, or, what would help them? Is there anything that anyone did, for you that really helped you in that moment as you were going through that, when that happened?
That when that was happening, everything was just such a fog. I couldn't tell you 10 minutes about that day. You don't know what to say. Even if I would approach another mother, I wouldn't know what to say, and I've been through it. There's nothing anyone can say or do to make it better. But if I would say the one thing that helped was just people having patience and you need to allow that person to grieve and to talk about, I need to talk about Patchy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that would be the only, but I don't think there's any one phrase or two phrases that you could say to make somebody feel better or do.
What practical suggestions can you give to a family or friends who've lost someone to suicide? What have you found strength in your grieving process? What has helped you?
It would be my faith. Mm-hmm. Without my faith, I wouldn't be sitting here, because I know we're going to be together. someday. I know that. And I know it's just, I'm going to be up there and they're going to blink and be like, Mom, like, what are you doing here? We just left, the earth. And it's like, no, honey, that was 20, 30 years ago. It's going to be at a blink of an eye. So that's what's helped me tremendously. That, and they give me a lot of signs. A lot of signs, whether it's birds or butterflies or clouds. Sometimes I can feel like a hand on my shoulder. So I know that they're here right now. I wouldn't be Patchy loved this chair. So he's probably sitting on the edge of it right now with me, with his arm around me.
What do you hope to accomplish with the Please Just Stay campaign?
Just stay one more day. I wish I could have said that to him. I just want to say, Patchy, just please stay. Because tomorrow's going to look brighter. I promise you. So just stay one more day. Just stay, because it will get better.
What do you think Patrick would have to say about this project?
He would say, Mom, if it's gonna help somebody else, then do it. But he would also I believe he's very sad, and that he hurt so many of us. But he would want it to help somebody. I really believe that. Because Patrick didn't want to hurt anybody. He just wanted to stop hurting.
Do you think that mental health and suicide prevention education are occurring enough in education or the workplace? Is there any sort of way you'd like to see more of that, moving forward?
I do, because it's not talked about enough. I believe that our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And we need to talk about it, not like it's a stigma. It's okay to say, hey, I have an appointment with my therapist today. Hey, I have a dentist appointment today. It should be talked about. Mm-hmm. Brought out, not be seen as like, oh, you're seeing a therapist, or oh, you're on medication. I take medication, for anxiety and depression. I take medicine for allergies. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be brought more to the forefront and have more of a discussion.
All right. Well, I think that covers it. I think we got everything.
Really?
We need. Yeah.
Wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.